Can stress actually cause your neck pain? And if it does, why? If you've been wondering if that stress in your life is actually affecting your neck pain, then you're in the right place, because today we're going to be discussing that very question of, can stress cause neck pain and why does that happen, including the fact of what you can do about it. The great thing about stress causing neck pain is that there are a lot of things that you can actually do to help calm your body and relax your body, even if you're in a very stressful situation or there's a lot of stress happening around you. Join us today as we're going to be discussing how stress affects neck pain and what you can do about it to not only decrease your neck pain, but hopefully decrease your stress in your body and calm things down. Now, first, we're going to get into the nitty-gritty just a little bit, because people often don't understand exactly what it is about the combination between stress and neck pain. And it's really important to understand how our body responds to it, because it's an automatic response. So simply saying, well, just decrease the stress in your life, right? Yes, we would all decrease the stress in our life if we had the ability to do that. However, we live in a world where there's a lot of stress going on and we're constantly being bombarded, and our body is responding to it on a very passive, primitive level. So we need to understand what is happening in order to understand what it is we need to do about it. The first important thing that we need to understand is that stress activates your fight or flight mechanism. So if you think back to caveman times, when you saw a bear or a predator or something like that, you had to run away. And when you need to run away, you need your lungs and your heart to be working really well to allow blood flow to those legs so you can run away. Well, friends, not much has changed. Yes, I understand that we may not run into predators on a regular basis. However, we still have that fight or flight mechanism. And when we're being constantly bombarded by different stressors throughout our day, throughout our life, this can activate that mechanism and even keep us in that fight or flight response. Now, fight or flight is meant to be that immediate response that provides that immediate feedback to help our body do what it needs to do. However, when we're constantly bombarded, we stay in that fight or flight mechanism for too long, and our bodies get overtaxed by doing that. What I mean by that is that we tend to have more blood flow going to our lungs and heart because our body thinks we're in fight or flight, and less going into our digestive system and all the other systems in the body. Now, this is really important because if you suffer with digestive issues or constipation or even pelvic floor issues, difficulty taking a deep breath, this could be part of what's affecting you. That fight or flight mechanism is triggered 24/7, and you are not capable of getting it to calm down. Although we don't want to get rid of the fight or flight mechanism, it's a life-saving mechanism. We don't want it operating 24/7. Now, specifically when it comes to neck pain, what happens is the fight or flight mechanism activates the accessory muscles of respiration. These are the muscles in our neck that help to pull our ribs up so that we can fill our lungs and get more oxygen so we can run away from the predator. Now, imagine that you are spending 24/7 in fight or flight, and these muscles are getting chronically tight and fatigued because they're constantly trying to pull that rib up. Can you see how this is not going to lead to long-term results? There's another thing to think about too. There's also your vagus nerve. It's one of your cranial nerves, and it starts at the base of your head, and it travels down through your abdominal cavity and affects most of the organs within it. Now, the vagus nerve is your chill out nerve, and it helps everything calm down. It gets all the organs working the way they're supposed to, and it just helps everyone chill out. This is really important because if you're using these muscles in your neck to breathe, that means you're using less of your diaphragm to breathe. And your vagus nerve travels through your diaphragm. So when you're doing that deep breathing and you're doing that diaphragmatic breathing, you're actually kind of activating the vagus nerve. When you activate the vagus nerve, then it helps everybody else chill out. So this is why it's so important to be doing that diaphragmatic breathing and making sure that you have that full diaphragmatic expansion, because it activates the vagus nerve. And when it activates the vagus nerve, everybody chills out and calms down. So if you find yourself constantly bombarded by the stress of the world and social media and news and your neighbors or your work or whatever, I highly encourage you to take regular breaks throughout the day, do some diaphragmatic breathing, and see how that helps to calm your system down. Now, I understand it may only last for a short period of time. However, if you do it regularly throughout the day, that will become your norm. Now, when you're overusing your neck muscles, obviously they get tense, and that can actually cause pain. However, it can also cause the joints to get compressed in your neck, which can lead to arthritis over time, and it can also cause increased pressure on the discs, which can cause a herniation or even a rupture later on. So a lot of the patients that I see have this chronic fight or flight response, this increased neck pain, neck tension, which is causing arthritis in their neck and also causing herniations in their disc. All of these things come together, but often the root cause, if you go all the way back, is stress-induced muscle tension. And that's what can cause so many other issues in our body. So this is really important to deal with from the beginning, and chances are it's something that's affecting you. Now, when those neck muscles get tight, put pressure on the joints and the discs and the ligaments, it can also cause referred pain. So it can lead to things like numbness and tingling in your hand. It can lead to headaches. It can lead to chest pain. It can lead to stiffness in your upper back. All of these things are connected. And sometimes it's that the neck tension started all the other problems in the first place. All right, now you may be like, Dr. Amy, that sounds exactly like me, so now I need to know what I can do about it. All right, I'm about to give you the answer. You need to manage your stress. I know, that was super helpful. No, don't go away. I have some more solid ideas than that. I understand in today's day and world that is really difficult. But there are some things that we do have control of. So that's what we're going to talk about right now. And really, it is about nourishing your body and putting your body in the best position to really be able to handle the stress. When your body is feeling safe and secure, it's less likely to go into that fight or flight mechanism, which will help to decrease the pain overall. Now, of course, if we could get rid of all the stress in our world and all the people that cause us stress in our world, that would be fantastic, but chances are pretty good you can't actually do that. So here's some things that you can do. The first thing that I need you to work on is making sure that you're getting enough sleep. When you get enough sleep, not only is your body healing, but your mind is healing. Your brain Roombas are traveling around and cleaning up your brain, which means you wake up feeling more clear-headed and more capable of handling the stress of the day. The second thing I need you to do is to drink enough water. Now, a lot of people think water doesn't really have to do with anything. You need water to survive. Your body is primarily made up of water. So if you don't drink enough water and you get dehydrated, this can actually cause the fight or flight mechanism to be activated. So it's really important to make sure you're getting enough water. And I often have people ask me exactly what's enough, because if you look around on the interweb, you're going to find all kinds of different answers. So what I recommend is what I heard from a patient many years ago. Drink enough water that your pee is clear, and drink enough water to keep your pee clear. Now, that's actually a lot of water, and that's really difficult to do, but it means you don't have to measure things. You don't have to worry about, am I drinking enough? I only got this, that. Drink enough that your pee is clear. Drink enough to keep it clear. The next thing I'm going to ask you to do is to practice your deep breathing. Now, that deep diaphragmatic breathing is actually what we're supposed to be doing 24/7, but we don't in today's society in general. So what I want you to do is practice it. I'm going to link a video here and also at the end of this video that goes through the breathing series that I recommend in my book. I'll also drop a link in the comments below for that. But you need to be practicing your diaphragmatic breathing so that you can do that regularly throughout the day. I recommend starting laying on your back because it's much easier. It's more difficult to do it in sitting or standing, but once you practice and you get used to it, you'll be able to do it too. The next thing I want you to do is perform gentle, pain-free stretches. Now, that may not be possible in your neck right now if you have a lot of neck tension. If that's you, I'm going to recommend you do some stretches through your shoulders. A lot of the muscles cross from the neck to the shoulders, so even doing something as simple as shoulder rolls or simple shoulder stretches can really help to decrease your neck tension. And the last thing I'm going to ask you to do is to find ways to calm your system down. Now, I know that that's really difficult because we can't control all the things that are around us, but we can control what's inside our heads. If that's writing down your cares every night before you go to bed, if that's phoning a friend and just having a good session of talking and getting things off your chest, if that's meditating, or maybe it's praying, whatever works for you, I am going to ask you to implement that on a daily basis. It's important that we get our systems calmed down, but in today's day and world, it's more important that we keep our systems calmed down. When we stay out of that fight or flight for prolonged periods of time, our body is actually able to heal, and we start to realize that this is actually where we're supposed to be living. So implement a daily routine. It doesn't have to be anything super long, but something that's effective for you to keep your mind focused on the positive things in your life.